Greetings, aloha, mahalo, whatever your language is, aloha, konnichiwa, bunaziwa if you're from Eastern Europe, and kumantalivu, como esta, hola. I'm here in Asia, and this is Thailand. We're in the south right now, and I'm going to the Philippines tomorrow, so I just want to give you a little information. Imagine for yourself, I'm at a boat dock here, and just imagine for yourself that you're looking above at the Philippines. Better yet, go to Google Earth and actually zoom in on it. Now, the bigger islands make it look like there's not as many, but actually there's over 6,000 islands. When you fly over, and as I fly over, tears have come to my eyes as I looked down and I saw the number of islands with the people that don't have much access to the outer world, or that don't have missionaries and people coming in per se. When you look down at these islands, sure, there's people up at the tops, and there's the mountain people, there's the natives, and there's trails going up there, and we work with those people too, but the majority of the people are right at the water's edge, right around the edge of the water, right around the edge of the island, and you see all these little villages there, and it's just, this is where it gets very emotional for me, because it's been almost 20 years I've been struggling in the Philippines. Now, I talked to Jeff Rich. He's a guy that I know, and I see at ASI sometimes, and we keep in touch a little bit, but he runs an organization called Layman's Ministry. I talked to him about this because there was a guy by the name of Mel Hemp who wanted to donate a vessel. I've been on his vessel, and I've talked with Jamie Spence and others with the canvas back, and I understand where they're coming from, because I was there once. I had a very large asset, not a boat, but a very large asset, and I literally was an emotional wreck trying to find people who would actually run the ministry. I had the asset, but I needed people that were passionate and on God's side, and that were doing it according to Scripture and the right way. And it was very difficult, and finally our family, we donated the organization away. But now I'm on the other end, where I'm passionate about something, there's a need, I struggle, I've asked people to share the burden, boat people, and I know that God has a reason for this delay in this long period of time. But I finally got to the point where I started this ministry, our Philippine Mission Boat and Land Project, because you have to have a piece of land somewhere to pull the boat out of the water if there's a storm, or even tie it, and it just makes sense to have a piece of land and the mooring and the boat. I started building a boat. Now, not a huge boat that would go intercontinent or in the different countries, but just inter-island, and something small. And I'm not a boat builder, but I prayed about it daily. I didn't look at any books or anything to do with boats. I just used, I just prayed. I just used basic knowledge that I had in my head. Then I was in Hawaii, and some really difficult things happened on the way over. As you know, my passport was taken away in China. I went through some difficulties. I had to get that back. I had to clear a bunch of debts, and I didn't see my wife for 2 years. During that time, someone reached out to us to donate a very large, very nice, according to them, yacht, vessel, 50-foot basically, schooner in Hawaii, in Kona. I mean, how good can it get? So, of course, believing that it was a miracle, I dropped everything that I was doing and went there. And what funds I had for the mission work that I had saved up myself, a few $1,000s, I took that, and I had that with me. Two things happened in January of this year that were devastating to us. One was the mission boat that was donated sunk. The bobolink sunk. Go to bobolink.life and you can see that. We almost lost our life. My son, my cousin, and I were on board. Turns out it was a scam, and you can learn about that. It wasn't a good boat. It was basically a boat that the owner needed to get rid of, because he was under the gun to get rid of it and get it out of the harbor, and he had been paid a good sum of money to actually purchase the mooring that he was using for the boat that he had waited 15 years for. So he was in a very big jam. The state of Hawaii knows about these scams. They happen often in the state of Hawaii, and I've decided not to go after the state of Hawaii on this, because you know, they're a big organization, of course, they're a government, and it's not that I don't think that God could help me win it, but there were some state people that helped me, and I really appreciate the Coast Guard that helped me. But you know, the person that really is at fault is the person who owned the vessel, who was involved. And it's really easy for him to get outside of the responsibility of this whole thing by just saying simply, I donated it. It makes him look like the good guy. But if you donate something that's going to kill someone, that's not safe. And so I'm going to go into that later on other videos, but I want to give you an update that basically we needed a boat desperately, and it seemed like a big miracle happened. A boat that was worth supposedly $27,000, it was appraised at that, was gifted. We spent all of the mission fund money into the boat to get it going and ready, but then we were pushed and forced out of the harbor before it was ready, and then we were denied access to the only haul out in the area where we could pull it out and make it really seaworthy, and then it started to sink. It's interesting because we don't know exactly where the water came in, but at the last it seemed like, according to my son, that it was coming in through the bathroom area, and that's the area that the owner had said, don't touch that area. Well, we didn't touch it. We didn't touch it, and it's still not touched. It's down 1,400 feet under the ocean. Now I'm back in Thailand, headed to the Philippines to continue working on this little boat that I started, but there's something really amazing that just happened. Captain Dan, while I was on the Big Island, you know, a friend of mine sent over money to buy land, and we bought, I found a piece of land which he hasn't even seen yet, 3 acres, and that's paid for, and the land is a beautiful little farmland. I'm talking to him about using it, a portion of it for, I planted hundreds of exotic fruit trees on that, and I want to use a portion of it for people, I don't want to say like myself, but people who are passionate about ministry, someone who is out there doing things around the world, making a difference, needs a little vacation, a little retreat, you know, if you want to call it that, to get recharged. And so I'm working on that. I've built the model house, but I met Captain Dan while I was on the Big Island, and he came to California, and we spent some time there. He worked on a little vessel that we have there that we're trying to sell for like a couple $1,000s to help generate some funds over here. But he has a couple of boats, actually 4 boats, but there's 2 boats that he is willing, along with his partner. We're working on a project. He owes a partner a little bit of money, but still there is a willingness shown on her side and an absolute 100% willingness on his side to donate his entire portion to the Philippine project. So, you know, we want to thank Dan, and I want to call him up on this video. Maybe I'll connect it to this and just verify that with him. And we'd like to, his partner wants about $15,000, but that's not necessarily before the boats can be used in the mission field. We have reason to believe that she would approve the trip if we had people willing to crew it. We need people. We have 2 vessels there, and they're nice. One's a 31 cruiser, the other's 37, I believe. So I've been on both of them. They're very nice, seaworthy fiberglass vessels, and we're trying to find people who would help us get those to the Philippines, going through the Marshall Islands to meet up with Craig Scott, my chairman, who's waiting there for us in the Marshall Islands. It's really not that hard of a sail. If you go down south, you can basically go to the Marshall Islands any time of year, but then once you get down to there, there's light trades, and you can make it all the way over to the Philippines. And if there's any one of you that wants to get involved with this, or that knows about vessels, please get on board, talk to me, and look at my number right below on the screen. Okay? God bless. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.